Do you know your true value? And what is it really worth to you? And why is it so important to you to understand and to protect your true value? In this video, I'm going to give you several things that you can use to protect and understand why your value is critical to you. Let's get started. Do you remember as a kid, when you were a little kid and you would go to school and you would come home and the teacher would put a star on your paper and you would feel so good about it? Or when you were little and you did something home as a toddler and your parents would clap their hand and say it was great? It was probably one of the first times you ever experienced dopamine. Dopamine is something that gives you this rush of a fantastic feeling of joy, of glee. And this feeling of dopamine needs to be released throughout your system, not only as a kid, but also into adulthood. As you get older, nobody gives out stars anymore. When you get a little older, you start getting trophies. You start getting certificates. You start to get acknowledged when you do a good report. Sometimes your peers will have you stand up and say, hey, great deal on certain projects. Sometimes they'll give you bonuses, or sometimes they'll just give you recognition. That's the key thing. Everybody wants to give you recognition so you can feel better about what you do. Again, in business, that dopamine being released so you feel good, because you know you feel good, your peers feel good, your boss feel good, and you know that's one of the things that keep you active and keep you pushing hard every day to get that little boost of dopamine in your life. But as you know, throughout life, as you get a little bit older, you start to figure out, like when we were little kids, only one person or one team got the trophy. But as times have changed now, everybody gets a trophy because everybody wants their kids to feel good. So nobody feels that I'm in second place or third place. Everybody needs to be at number one. It's a very, very critical thing in our lives because we always set ourselves up to be number one, but oftentimes, as life has it, can't always be number one. So you have to build up some resiliencies within yourself to make sure when you don't fall off or someone pushes you down, you still maintain your values. So in this video, I'm going to give you some key things that you should look at to make sure you maintain your value. Number one, in your job, why do you think it's so important that everybody recognizes you as someone being valuable? Because we all know one bad evaluation can derail our trajectory for our next promotion. It can derail our careers. One bad rumor, one bad offset, one bad presentation, anything like that can tend to have some negativity. And we tend to overthink those things. I got to make sure I do good. I got to make sure I present. I got to make sure everybody loves what I say. I want to be a part of the A team. I want to be in the in circles. All of these things are self-gratification. So any little thing we know can push you outside of that box because the competition is very, very high. Everybody wants to be inside that box, and that box is very, very small. So here's some key things again you need to look at. The way you manage yourself. Make sure you always manage yourself in the best posture. You need to understand that people around you are looking at you and they're constantly calculating who you are and what you do, what you bring to the table. So I'm not saying you have to be fake or dishonest, but people will use whatever they see, whatever they get against you or to promote you. So make sure you put forth your best leg at all times. Number two, your speech, your vocabulary. Make sure you speak properly, use good English, use good sentences. Make sure you leave some of the slang and some of the other things that we use outside of work, because people judge you for little things like that, and you don't want to be judged. It's very, very important. Your vocabulary, make sure your vocabulary is strong. Make sure you are well read. Make sure you know when to use certain words, when not to use certain words. That's the key thing, is make sure your vocabulary is very, very strong. Your mannerisms, right? Make sure you're up to speed in your mannerisms. And this is, I'm not saying this for the executives. I'm not saying this for the managers, because they should already know these things. But some of the younger people coming up through the university or their first job, these are some of the things you need to look at, because when you walk into the workplace, you're constantly being judged. So take a look at some of these things, okay? It's very, very important. And the last one, your dress. Just make sure when you go into the workplace that you are dressed appropriately, because people, again, they're judging. And I'm not saying you should dress a certain way. I'm not trying to go down that lane, but all I'm saying is keep it positive and keep it professional. Other things that you need to focus on that people look at all the time, and they might not say it, but they're looking at it. Always maintain your integrity. When something's not right, call it out. When something's wrong, call it out. When someone uses bad jokes or something, and you know it's not right, you don't have to get engaged. You don't have to laugh. You don't have to do all those things. Because maybe there are 10 people in a group. One person makes a bad joke, 3 or 4 of them laugh. But look, just stand aside and say it's not appropriate, or don't laugh and go, wow. But no, you might need to disassociate yourself with those people and those type of jokes. Even if you don't call them out because maybe you feel like you're not empowered to call them out, but you don't have to get engaged with it. Just stay back from it. Understand what your conscience is telling you, right? Your inner spirit is so important to you. So if you feel that something's wrong, you feel that's not right, like you just kind of know. So if you go into a situation where for whatever reason it just feels wrong, if you're doing the wrong thing, maybe you're at a sales meeting and you feel like, that someone's doing something that's underhanded, call that out, be true to yourself first, right? Because if you're not true to yourself, you're going to fail in the long term. You got to be honest with yourself. You're going to wake up in the morning every day with yourself. You're going to go to bed every day with yourself. So make sure what you do on a daily basis is respective of your values. And last but not least, your spirituality. Some of us go to church, some of us don't. Some of us have a higher being, a different process that we go through. But be true to that also. So if you're involved in a function, let's say it's heavy drinking. You don't drink. Don't feel pressured into drinking. If someone is going to some event that is against your belief, stand up for that belief. Just don't go. Be respectful and give the reason why you don't go. But you always need to be respectful for who you are, your culture, your background, your history. And it's not easy sometimes because we all want to fit in. We all want to look alike. You go to some places, everybody's got the black suit on, everybody's got the white shirt on. You come in with a brown suit, everybody's like, oh my God, what's that person doing? Be true to yourself. Fit in, but don't be the robot. Let me give you a little example about a pencil. Everybody knows what a pencil is. So sometimes a pencil needs to be sharpened, right? And when you put that pencil into a pencil sharpener, it hurts, right? It's painful sometimes. But sometimes in life, you have to be in a situation to get better. You have to be sharpened. And sometimes life is painful. But at the end of that sharpening, you come out much more pointed, much more focused, and you're ready to go. So don't be concerned sometimes when you go through some pain, because that's part of life. And that's going to lift up your value in the long term. So just don't worry about it. The second thing about a pencil is have an eraser. As you go through life, you will go through some things and you don't get to do them over. But you get to erase it. You get to build on that point and say, okay, I'm going to erase that bit right there and I'm going to go forward. So everything you do in life, don't think you have to be perfect at all times. That's why they have an eraser and a pencil. So you could do some things over. You can't change everything in your life. But some things you can say, I need to stop. I'm going to do that better. I'm going to do that again. This is why there's a eraser and a pencil. The third thing, a pencil. Let's assume that pencil is you. You're making a mark on this world. You're making a mark on your family. You're making a mark in the office place. You're making a mark with your friends and colleagues. Every time you step out, you're doing something. You're leaving your mark. You're leaving your reputation. You're leaving something behind, So that pencil is a way of you writing down, maybe not physically writing down, but you're leaving a trail behind you. So make sure it's proper and respectable. Number 4 is the lead in the pencil. The lead is your let's say it's your core. It's your inside. You have a wood coating on the outside and some paint and everything that protects your core. You don't want everybody to know exactly what's happening on the inside. Don't tell everybody what's happening on the inside. Release that pencil lead is protected. And it's designed for you to release a little bit as you go. As you need to write some more, as you need to put out some more, you write more. And when you get to a point, then you shave it back a little bit more and you release some more of that lead. Protect your insides because some people will use it as a weakness. There are people out there that will help you promote it. They will help you get better. But I'm a firm believer in you keep yourself intact by protecting yourself. Hey, if you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button also. Go over to my website. I'm giving out a free questionnaire today. And the questionnaire is a bit of fun, but it tells you if you're in the right job or not. Put your comments down below. Would love to hear if you think you're in the right job or in the wrong job. If you like what I'm saying, like to spend a free session with me, see if we got the right chemistry to work together in the future, please let me know. We'd love hearing from you. Thanks a lot. Again, protect your value. Thanks. Bye-bye.